Welcome to Focus on Relationships, where everybody needs somebody someday, sometime, somewhere in life. On the series of Letters to My Daughters and Sons, today we are going to talk about dating. What is dating? When somebody shows an interest in a girl, we are in a modern world. We can also say when a girl also shows an interest in a guy, the two of them decide to go out and participate in an activity that is of interest to them. During this time, they get to explore each other, find out more about each other, and see where they will be in the future. So dating is where the two of them start to participate in an activity with the intention of spending time or getting to know each other better. Sometimes they go out to eat. Sometimes they go to the theaters. Sometimes they meet at church. Sometimes they go to the cinemas. Sometimes they just walk around in a park, sit down and have a chat. It doesn't have to be one-way activity. It can be different types of activities that they can perform. Once they start to go out, then they will find out whether the two of them can find a common ground where they can develop the relationship further, or where they can progress in the relationship. I'm so happy when I see that people have started to go out to find something more about each other. It is the beginning of good things to come, because through dating they can end up in marriage. It is not all the time that our children will end up in marriage when they start dating, but it's a good experience. It prepares them for the next stage of life. I will advise my sons and daughters that when you are dating, you need to pay attention to the first date. It is not just what happens around there, it's after. After the date, is the guy or the girl going to call you back to find out how the date went or to find out about you? You have to put your mind to that one. Watch out for that one. Now, there are some stages of dating, and I would like to share with you, my sons and daughters. The first stage of dating is attraction. Attraction, or the romance stage. This first stage is where the couple now just see only the good side, the similarities that the two of them have. Sometimes they ignore even the differences they have, because this stage is full of the feel-good hormones. The feel-good hormones. You just feel like, oh, there's this butterfly in your tummy. You are so excited to speak to the guy or to speak to the girl. You are not looking beyond what you are feeling at that particular moment. So that stage is the stage of the romance stage, or the honeymoon stage, when you first been introduced to a guy or a girl that you are going out with. Gradually, we move from this stage, because it has to move. We have to evolve. We have to progress in this dating period. From this stage, we go to the reality stage. Stage 2 of our dating is the reality stage, or the power tussle stage. What does that mean? The reality stage is where now you are seeing the flaws in your partner. You are seeing the differences that the two of you have. And this is the stage where you are now compromising. This is the stage where probably you would have had your first disagreement. Now your feet are on the ground. You are now moving on to where you can say that, oh, you wronged me, I wasn't happy. You are not afraid to point out the flaws in the relationship. And this is the stage where you are now trying to make sure that you bring out what you actually need in the relationship. Not just, being in the mood, not seeing the wrong. This stage, you've now built a relationship where you have confidence enough to express your feelings to your partner. And it might be the first time that you are even going to have your fight or quarrel about something. And once you have that and you are able to solve it, and you are able to discuss the differences that are between the two of you, that is where you know that now your relationship is developing to where you want it to go. It's developing from just being, seeing only the good side and the lovely side of your partner. But then you are now moving on into where you can say that, no, I'm not happy with this. And then how do we solve it? That is reality stage. Now, from here, we move on to what we call exclusivity. Exclusivity. Somebody will say, what are you talking about? Exclusivity is where you have progressed from just seeing only the good side, coming into where you've seen the flaws, and you can compromise and you can accept some of the flaws and see how best you can develop each other. And now you are moving on because you are comfortable with the relationship, you are comfortable with how you deal with things, you are comfortable with the openness of the relationship. And then you move on into the exclusivity. This is where the two of you now decide that we are not going to date any other person, because we have developed our relationship to a point where we know that we can federate. Then you stop dating any other person, and it is only the two of you who you are going to date. It's only the two of you. At this stage, it involves both of you agreeing to commit, because this stage is where you start committing. You start committing to each other. You become open, you are honest, and you share your weaknesses and your strengths. You can talk about your future. This is where now you know that we have this channel where we are walking, this journey that we are making towards our married life. At this stage, you can now talk about your future. What do we want? What do we need? This is the exclusivity, the commitment stage. The commitment stage. You talk about your goals. You talk about your dreams, how you want to see your relationship in the future. So you start preparing. At this stage, any any stage in this dating time, there could be a time where you can decide that you are not carrying it forward because of something that happened, or when you might realize that yes, we've moved from the first stage, I've moved to the second stage, I've moved to the third stage, but still there is something that I'm not very sure about, and I feel that the two of us cannot be compatible. It can happen. Once it happens, you talk about it, and then you can break up peacefully and amicably and respectfully. But if it has to move on to the next stage of intimacy, that is where now the two of you are getting yourself ready. I can say that this is where we now preparing ourselves for engagement, because we have realized that the two of us are compatible. The two of us are honest with each other. We have the confidence to be able to express how we feel. And we have that exclusivity where the two of us can, just do anything that we want to do together. Togetherness is shown in this stage. Commitment. So when you go out and you see somebody else, you have a sweetheart there. You have another person who is dear to you, and therefore you have made a commitment to that person, and you will not yield to any temptation outside until you make a decision that, look, I'm not going forward with this relationship. But if you're moving forward, you have committed to a girl or you have committed to a guy. So your intimacy becomes stronger. Now you share intimate informations. Now you share a lot of ideas together. And your bond is getting closer. Intimacy stage in your dating. And you are going out more. You realize that you are spending time more together, either on the phone or you are going out physically together. You are doing things together more. From the intimacy stage, we move on to the engagement stage. Your engagement stage is the final stage of the dating. It is this point where the couple ultimately decides to bring the commitment to another level. Another level of lifetime. We are committing for a lifetime. Because the previous stages, you could just decide to break up, to stop the relationship progressing. But if you have survived all the other stages up to the engagement stage, that means this is the final stage of your dating. It is no more dating. You are now entering into the marriage scene. And that is engagement. This is where we have decided to do it for life. For better, for worse. This is where we have decided that, look, if I am 25 and I'm getting married, if I'm 30 and I'm getting married, the rest of my life, I'm going to spend with you. That is the engagement stage. So here, the exclusivity is now at its highest level. There is no one else in this relationship but the two of us. This phase ideally should be the perfect time for the couple to learn to apologize to each other. At this particular stage, you've now learned how to say sorry when you've done wrong. You now know how to forgive each other. You know how to talk to each other. You know how to solve conflicts. You know how to share ideas. You know how to share your environment, your space. This is the stage where we pray that the dating will end. The engagement stage. And once you've done the engagement, which is socially acceptable and legally binding, it makes the union a perfect union. Dating is where we explore. We learn from each other. And this is where we find out if the person that you are going out with is going to be a marriageable person or somebody that you can marry. And that is why we have the stages. Learn to stay true to your beliefs. Learn to stay true to your moral values. Don't be pressurized into doing something that you are not accustomed to. Stand on your moral grounds. Stand on your Christian values. Stand on your beliefs. Know what you want and what you need whilst you're dating. Because wants are negotiable, but needs or beliefs or values are non-negotiable. God bless you, and stay true to what you believe whilst you're dating. Thank you for watching. I know we are all learning something that will help us in our romantic journey. If you like the video, click the like button. Subscribe, and then we keep learning as the series unfolds. In letters to my sons and daughters. It sounds better.